Good morning. Welcome back to another episode of Stories from the Workbench. I'm Pastor Dave Carl, and this is my shop of wonders. I'm excited to show you one of my favorite tools today. This is a lathe. The motor spins the spindle here, and when you chuck up some wood like this, it spins the whole piece. Think of it like a pottery wheel, but sideways. As the wood spins, I use these tools to scrape or cut the wood away. So turning things on the lathe is how you would make, well, a chair leg, or perhaps a rolling pin for Mrs. Carl, or carving mallets. I just love mallets. This is one I made some time ago, and it has lasted quite a long time. This is one I made a long time ago, and as you can see, it was well loved and got tired, so I needed to make a new one. Still has some life in it, I think. A round mallet like this is perfect for carving tools, or holdfasts, or most anything that needs to be tapped. If you really need to pound something, you might go to this. This is an oak mallet, a different kind that I made some time ago. This obviously was not made on the lathe, but this will move things that don't want to move. I had a 6-year-old in my shop one day. He saw that and he said, "That looks like the hammer of Thor." That has a ring to it. I like that. Well, are you ready for a story? We've got a great one today. This one is found in the Old Testament book of 1 Kings, starting in chapter 17. And you remember what we say about the Bible. The Bible is God's Word. Everything in it is true. It really happened. Elijah was one of those amazing prophets. He really spoke with God, and he told the people of Israel what God said. There was a problem for our friend Elijah. The king of Israel at that time was a guy named Ahab. Now you would think that the king of God's chosen people would be really focused on obeying God and teaching the whole nation to love him too, but Ahab was a terrible king. Ahab married a woman, an evil woman, from another country, which he was not supposed to do, and her name was Jezebel. She talked Ahab into worshiping the idol that she liked, what she was really not supposed to do. She was wicked, evil, mean. She was even known to occasionally wear pink and red together. Wicked, I tell you, wicked. On top of it all, the Bible tells us Ahab did more evil than all of the bad kings before him, and there were some bad kings before him. Yikes! The idol Jezebel brought with her was called Baal. Now, he was supposed to be the guy in charge of making it rain. Now, if it didn't rain for a while, the guys who worked at the temple, there were a lot of them, the guys who worked at the temple would start doing things, making sacrifices and such to try to get Baal in the mood to make it rain. Look at me. Look at me, I can do push-ups. Hey Baal, watch this. Woo! 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 Hey Baal, I can make music with my armpits. Hey, can somebody help me find my armpits? We know who controls the rain, right? It's the one who invented it. God created everything, and he controls everything. King Ahab turned his back on God to worship this guy, Baal, that didn't even really exist. He was just a made-up, imaginary guy. My daughter had an imaginary friend when she was little. In high school, I had an imaginary girlfriend for a while, but she finally decided she needed to go see other imaginary people. It didn't. I'm fine. It's fine. Well, finally, God had had enough. He talked to Elijah and gave him a message to give to King Ahab. Because you are such a bad king and worship idols, it will not rain again till I say so. Have a nice day. Elijah walked out. He just walked out. And I think there was so much confusion. What did he just say? What just happened? Everybody was so upset. And King Ahab was furious. There was so much confusion that I guess nobody noticed. Elijah just walked out. Get that guy. Nobody talks to me that way. He wanted to have Elijah caught and killed. But God knew this was going to happen. So he told Elijah to go to a certain place, and there would be a stream that would provide him water. I guess this is the waterfall. But there would be water to drink. But wait, there's more. God provided birds to come in every day. I can't do birds, so I made airplanes. That they would come and they would bring him bread, and I'm not sure what kind, but God had the birds bring him meat. I am so tired from carrying all of that. Whew. Ahab sent his men out everywhere, but they could not find him. Whew. He couldn't have gone any further than this. I need a Slurpee. Back before our time, before grocery stores and refrigeration and trucks delivering food all the time, life was very different. If the rain doesn't fall, then the crops don't grow, then the harvest can't be brought in, and then people go hungry. Rain was critical for survival. And if God turns off the rain, it's not going to rain a drop. Now remember that Jezebel and Ahab, they worshipped Baal because in an imaginary world, they thought he was in charge of the rain. Oh, mighty Baal! Oh, mighty Baal! Why do you always have to say what I say? Make up your own lines. Sweetie, I'm just trying... God turning off the rain was not a random act. It was absolutely sending a signal that God alone is the one who makes the rain fall or not to fall. Well, it did not rain that whole year. Not a drop, not even the morning dew. So the crops did not grow. And the people had to eat the grain that they had saved from the year before. The second year, it didn't rain at all, and people were going hungry. They were getting skinnier and skinnier because there was just not enough food to go around. I'm actually doing okay. I'm a bit of a prepper, and I I store it up. You might be thinking Ahab felt bad about all of the suffering that was going on and that he would pray to God, say he was sorry, and try to get everything fixed. You would think that. But not Ahab. Ahab blamed Elijah. I am so angry at that prophet. After 3 years of searching for Elijah without success, one day Elijah came and found Ahab. Okay, you are a terrible king, and you've taught the people of God to worship idols and do terrible things and to forget God. Well, yes, but let's settle this once and for all. Let's have a contest over there on Mount Carmel so everyone can see. You and all your prophets and priests of Baal will prepare an altar for Baal, and I will rebuild the altar for God. Yes, but you will not set the wood on fire. Y'all will pray that Baal will set his altar on fire. I will pray that God lights his altar on fire. The one who does it will prove who is the one true God. What do you say? Yeah, but we like it. We like it a lot. All right, everybody, let's get ready to rumble. I think Ahab was figuring he had almost 1,000 prophets and priests of Baal. And then he looked at this one old, lonely prophet of God and felt like he had a huge advantage. He was so wrong. Ahab was only thinking about how to get control of this situation, and Elijah was embarrassing him. Elijah, on the other hand, was thinking about things, well, the way God was thinking about things. And that's what we're supposed to do. Those of us who believe in Jesus and follow him, we're supposed to be wanting to see things the way God sees them. This is making me feel thoughtful and philosophical. Maybe it's time we pause and have a philosophical moment with Pastor Dave. What we focus our attention on makes all the difference in the world. It's easy to focus very closely, but on the wrong thing. Now, Ahab saw only the physical world, but there is a spiritual world too, and God is constantly working there. Can we get some? If we only see our struggles and heartaches as a loss of control problem, we're eventually going to pull our hair out. But if we see them all as invitations from God to move closer to him and to receive special things from him, well, that changes everything. You see, it's our job to try and see the events and challenges in our life more and more the way God does. Elijah did this, but Ahab simply would not. So the whole nation of Israel gathered around Mount Carmel to watch this amazing battle. Sunday! Watch Baal battle it out with the God of Israel. Don't miss it! Okay, I don't know if it was on a Sunday, but that was fun to say. Some are heroes. A few are superheroes. Even if you can't leap tall buildings in a single bound, you can serve a critical need for those nearby who are in genuine need of food. Every Monday from 11 o'clock to 1 o'clock, Stonebriar Community Church hosts a drive-through food collection. Canned goods, dry goods, and non-perishables are needed for those in our community who are in need. Stay in your car and feed a family. And by the way, it's a bunch of fun too. Mondays, 11 o'clock to 1 o'clock. Visit online for the list of needed foods at stonebriar.org/events. You can make a difference from your car window with Stonebriar Community Church. Now, because Elijah was a gentleman, he let the prophets and priests of Baal go first. They built their altar of stones and wood, and they cut up a whole bull and placed the meat on the top. And that's what a sacrifice is on an altar. It's burning meat as a gift to whomever you're worshiping on kind of a big campfire.
Well, I must say, I'm feeling pretty confident about this today. I told my wife, don't even pack me a lunch. This is going to be over before you know it. Yes, sir?
Is all the stones stacked up just so?
Yes, sir.
Wood stacked up properly?
Just like you asked, sir. The meat is all in place. Start praying for fire.
Well, I'm here to tell you that the main priest of Baal sauntered out there and raised his imaginary arms to Baal, and he started to pray.
I just don't understand why he needs to dress so flashy. It seems distracting to me.
So the very second he started to pray to that idol Baal, do you know what happened? Nothing. And it was a little embarrassing for him, so he decided he needed to pray a little louder. Rama lama lama, a lama dunding a dong, Baal! So when he called out the name Baal loudly, do you know what happened? That very second, nothing happened. It was becoming a problem. He got his buddies to join him, and they didn't do any better. Nothing happened. I'm so pooped. Oof, I'm pooped too.
Well, you can imagine my embarrassment. I now wish my wife had made me a little bit of a lunch. Maybe a nice MLT, a mutton, lettuce, and tomato sandwich. When the mutton is nice and lean and the tomato is ripe and perky, I just love that. Ooh, I'm tired. This is going on a lot longer than I thought.
Well, it went on a whole lot longer than that. They had gone well into the afternoon, and the Baal guys were exhausted. So they called in the junior varsity team, who did not have as much experience, but they had tons of enthusiasm. Nothing happened. Finally, Elijah had had enough. He stacked up the stones and arranged the wood and placed the meat on the top just so. Then he dug a ditch all around the altar. Hey, you.
Yes, sir.
Go get me 4 pitchers of water.
4 pitchers? He must be really thirsty. Okay. Here's 4.
Now pour the water over the meat, the wood, and the stones. Okay, that was a surprising move. Elijah has lost all his noodles. You don't pour water over wood you want to burn. Clean up, fellas. Today's a draw. Nobody wins. Elijah had them pour a total of 12 pitchers of water over the stones and the wood and the meat. There was so much water dripping from all of this that it filled up the ditch that Elijah had dug around this altar. And then he prayed. "Oh God, let everyone here know that you are the one true God and that I have only done what you told me to." Do you know what happened at that very moment? Fire came down from heaven and hit the altar of God. And all that water turned to steam. All that meat vaporized instantly. The bones that the meat were on vaporized instantly. All the wood that the bones and the meat were on, gone. The stones under the wood, under the dirt under the stones. There was just a black dent in the ground. It was all vaporized instantly. That day, God showed the nation of Israel He is the only one to worship. There is nothing that we should love and be devoted to more than God. Not money, not fame, not Little Debbie Swiss rolls, nothing. Let's be the people of God who are striving to be more devoted and more loving of God than we were yesterday. Well, that's our story for today. Thanks for joining me for another episode of Stories from the Workbench. This week, let's make some stuff and tell some stories. And today's story, there was a ton more we didn't have time to get into. You can read all about it in 1 Kings chapters 17 through 19. Thanks for being with us, and we'll see you next time.